And it is a Thursday morning.
This morning's Indiana in the Morning segment with the Conservative Energy Network is brought to you by Sunnyfield Renewable Energy. Energy matters. Let's talk.
And presented by Marcus and Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury law year 4 years in a row, and the best of Indiana County contests. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Tell them 479-1160, 724-479-1160, and we'll be able to get it there. Justin should have heard it on the phone. Justin Mason is on the line, and in the studio with us this morning is Jim Gregory.
Yes, I am.
And Justin waiting on the line. We'll just let you wait there for just a moment so that we can conference you together. And there is the other caller, so let's pick that one up on the air here this morning. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. This is Greg Gebhardt with Cypress Creek.
Absolutely. We're going to be good to talk with you. We're going to conference in Justin here. Now, if I lose either one of you, give it a shot back. We'll see if we can do. Sometimes our phones say, I'm not going to do that today. So let's find out. See if Justin is here.
All good.
I'm here.
Justin, you're there, and Greg, you're there.
Yes, sir. Pleasure to be with you.
And
Beautiful.
I am here.
And Jim is here as well. My goodness. So we've got three guys here. We ought to talk about something, huh?
Let's talk about energy, because it matters.
Idea. Good idea. Absolutely. And Greg brings his area of expertise to this conversation as well. Justin, of course, it's good to have you back with us as always. So you mentioned it, Greg, Cypress Creek Renewables. What is it? What is Cypress Creek Renewables?
Yeah, so thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you this morning, Todd, Justin, Jim. Good to be with you as well again. I'm glad to be back in the Commonwealth. Cypress Creek we're a leading energy developer and independent power producer. You know, we develop, finance, own, and operate utility scale and distributed solar and energy storage projects across the country. We're in 24, 25 different states right now. We've got a portfolio of 5.5 gigawatts. So just for, comparison's sake or to kind of frame it for your local listeners, that's roughly what's going to be brought online at Homer City. Cypress Creek owns and operates that much solar and storage across the country. But what has me in town or in Western PA this week, Todd, is the Marcellus Shale Coalition. Mm-hmm. Cypress Creek is very interested in how solar plus storage could pair with, gas generation to meet the ever-growing demand of data centers.
Yeah. Greg is the Director of Government Affairs and Economic Development for Cypress Creek Renewables. Jim, people might not think that there can be a relationship between Marcellus Shale. That's gas.
Yeah.
And solar, too.
Yes, there is. And it's always been interesting to me over the years, and I've been with this organization leading it for the past year and a half, that the argument against renewable energy is that it's not sustainable. The argument isn't whether or not it's sustainable because sunshine and wind come and go. It's whether or not it helps sustain our portfolio of fossil fuels for longer. It can be there when it's needed. And to be able to have that opportunity to present that kind of energy that Greg just talked about, it's so important because we're not producing enough in Pennsylvania, period, whether or not we have the amount of natural gas beneath our feet that we do. We still need more, which is always a little bit head scratching for people who are listening. How can we have this issue? But we do, and we need all of the above and all of the below right now.
Yeah, Greg, for storage, of course, or for solar, storage has been the big issue, hasn't it? It's been the biggest mountain to climb.
It has, and I grew up in Erie County, so I'm a proud product of Northwestern PA. Worked on a dairy farm for years in high school, and I've seen, the shale industry provide good jobs for a lot of guys that I went to high school with up there in Northwestern PA. And, solar and storage is just but a piece of the all the above, as Jim described it, right? All the above and all the below. But once we as a society crack the nut on long-term storage capacity, that really is a game changer for intermittent resources, whether that be solar or wind, and they can firm up that power for data centers or large industrial users, advanced manufacturing. I was at the great gathering last night down in Canonsburg, and learned about EOS Energy, a battery manufacturer right here in Pittsburgh that's doing game-changing stuff in nickel battery technology. And so it's happening literally right here in Western PA, and again, that storage component is really a game changer.
Yeah, let's bring Justin Mason into the conversation. Justin, it's part of an overall energy picture that has to include every drop of energy from whatever the source, right?
It absolutely is. If we don't account for all base load opportunities that currently exist because of Pennsylvania's long-standing energy legacy and industrialization of energy that we so greatly enjoyed and the world benefited from right here in Western Pennsylvania, and we don't inoculate that with new, evolving, innovating technologies, then what are we doing, right? We need to allow energy to innovate just as we need to allow our farmers to innovate, because that's how agriculture works, and that's what farmers are trying to do with putting utility-scale solar and storage projects on their property as they see fit, sir.
All right, so Greg, let's talk a little bit about what Pennsylvania can do to sort of help move this process along or get this process moving much more smoothly than it is right now. There can be legislative, they can be regulatory blockages that need to be cleared away. Is Pennsylvania in position to do that?
Absolutely, yes. And, we have experience, Cypress Creek has experience. We developed a 25 megawatt solar project in Erie County in Girard, not far from where I grew up in Edinburgh, actually, a couple years back, and have poured. That development was north of $30 million into the Erie County economy. It'll contribute $3 million plus back to the to the local tax base over the next 20 so years. And so Pennsylvania is absolutely ripe for this. As many of y'all have said on this call already, we need every electron we can get right now, right? I mean, generation is, everybody needs it, not just Pennsylvania. I talked to regulators and lawmakers all across the country, and they say we need all the electrons we can get right now. And Pennsylvania is in a very unique, quite frankly, enviable position across certainly, the Mid-Atlantic, but also, across the Eastern Seaboard, that there's just so much energy to be harvested here in Pennsylvania that we just want to work at Cypress Creek, and others want to work with the local communities where they want to bring economic development opportunity. There are some folks that, quite frankly, Todd, whether it's gas or renewables, just don't want to see development in their backyard. And while that's unfortunate, right, because this development means construction jobs, right? My brother did vocational trades at the Votech school in high school, learned a construction trade that has carried him well into his career now. A lot of folks, say, oh, well, those are only temporary jobs. Well, the type of data center developments, Todd, that are being talked about, those are multi-year build-outs. I mean, we're talking 6-7 years worth of construction jobs. And then, if that's a gas plant on site too, someone's got to run that gas plant 24/7. So, Pennsylvania's in a great position right now. And we look forward to working with communities across Western PA who welcome the economic opportunities that this development brings. Could the process be streamlined? Sure. But again, I think it just is incumbent upon us as developers and others to just, be patient and do the education, to make folks comfortable with this type of development.
Todd, I just want to dovetail off of that. When it comes to labor jobs and it comes to skilled labor, there are Pennsylvania skilled labor workers who find themselves having to leave Pennsylvania to go work on projects in Ohio, West Virginia, and they leave their families and they leave their homes and they have to come back on weekends. And it's because we don't have enough work for them here in so many other industries. This industry is here. It can be here. And those laborers need to stay in Pennsylvania, whether it's a temporary job or not. And that's just so important to this conversation, that to call it just because they're temporary jobs, as Greg just pointed out, we need them to stay in Pennsylvania because they keep their families and they keep their households here in Pennsylvania as well.
Well, Jim, you're a former lawmaker.
Yeah.
In Harrisburg,
Yeah.
is there the actual will to stand out of the way, to stand down?
Yeah, that's a great question, Todd, because that's why we've undertaken this siting reform measure where we've said partisanship is what is driving costs of energy up, because the lawmaker atmosphere has been so difficult to navigate when you talk about an election year. And right now, what we're hearing is even Republican lawmakers who previously would not have said all of the above are now saying all of the above because they recognize the importance of every electron is needed. And so I believe in the governor's office, they recognize it. The House, both caucuses, Senate, both caucuses recognize it. It really should come down to a bipartisan effort, and take no pride in the authorship of who gets it done, because the polling that we did, we talked about that in a previous show, is that they don't care who gets it done. Voters just want to see it done. They're tired of the pain they're experiencing at the mailbox every month with an electricity bill. And if lawmakers don't want to deal with this, they're going to feel the pain at the ballot box this year.
Yeah, Justin, you get out there into the field plenty. You see and talk to plenty of people who know about the issue. Do you see the kind of movement that needs to happen to make projects like what Greg is talking about this morning, to make it happen?
Well, really, and thank you for asking, Todd, it comes down to what the community wants. If a township in Pennsylvania is open for business and looking to court utility-scale solar, data, even in the past wind, then they do so. And if they don't want to, then they make it harder on developers. But what the general public needs to realize is, and even the township supervisors of Pennsylvania, is this is the continuation of rural electrification. Greg and I grew up together in western Pennsylvania, up here in Erie County, in Edinburgh, experiencing agriculture in our everyday lives, where our peers drove their tractors to school. And we benefited from rural electricity because we were able to live out in the county and have reliability every time we hit that switch. If we want that to continue, then we need our local townships to play their part.
Last word here comes from Greg. Greg, Cypress Creek has obviously a plan for here in Pennsylvania. As you talk to folks and see where the movement is within the industry, are your goals attainable in Pennsylvania? Do you see people allowing you to get done what you really see as what needs to be done?
100%, Todd. 100%. I had great conversations yesterday at the Marcellus Shale Coalition meeting, and then followed those up at the great gathering last night. Yet people want to see investment dollars and economic opportunity brought to Western PA. They're excited about it. And selfishly, Todd, I'm excited about it as a native of Western PA. Jim mentioned the trade workers earlier. People don't recognize it, but when you leave Western PA, there is a hallmark carried by the people that live and work here in Western PA, that they're proud people who are willing to work hard and just get stuff done. And so we're excited about the opportunities that exist in Western PA for Cypress Creek.
Very good. Very good. Greg, thank you so much. Justin as well. Jim.
Good to see you always, sir.
We appreciate it also very much. Guys, have a great weekend.
Thank you, Todd. God bless.
Thank you, sir.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. So we're just about 2 minutes away from the top of the hour. Fox News comes your way then, and then Josh Whittison briefly from the WCCS newsroom. And then it is the Brian Kilmeade Show. It's the Indiana in the Morning, always presented by First Commonwealth Bank, WCCS. One last time with our Hess and Marino tax tip this morning.
You work hard for your money, so you should have tax preparers work hard for you to make sure you're getting all the tax credits, deductions, and money back that you deserve. Contact the tax professionals at Stephen H. Hess in Indiana. Whether you're a business or corporation,